A former Boeing safety inspector says the company fired him because he's a whistleblower. Hear his allegations and Boeing's response. Good evening, I'm Mark Wright.
And I'm Christine Chen.
Well, coming up next on Q13 Fox News at 10, a former Boeing safety inspector says the company fired him because he's a whistleblower.
One thing I reported to the FAA was bolts. The bolts that hold the airplane together.
His allegations and Boeing's response in a special Q13 Fox News report up next. Also tonight, a former Boeing safety inspector has leveled serious allegations against his former employer. Boeing recently fired Gerald Eastman. They accused him of accessing sensitive company documents. Eastman says he wasn't stealing, but took documents he believes would prove Boeing's airplanes are not inspected properly. Eastman talked with Q13 Fox News reporter Darren Dito, who joins us live right now. Darren.
Christine, Gerald Eastman spent 10 years working for Boeing at both the Everett and Renton facilities. He worked most of the time in the company's propulsion systems division. The former quality assurance inspector says he worked on all models of Boeing commercial aviation planes. He says he's seen hundreds, if not thousands, of Boeing airplanes that quality assurance inspectors sign off on as safe that were not properly inspected for flying.
I mean, everything, the tanker scandal, the Lockheed data theft scandal for in the news is nothing compared to what's going on at Boeing. I mean, we're talking something bigger than Enron here.
Serious allegations from Gerald Eastman, who says he's inspected hundreds of Boeing commercial airplanes of all makes and models. He now claims as a Boeing quality assurance inspector, he was told by management to ignore faulty and unsafe parts on planes to get them off the assembly line quicker.
He said we inspected only when we had time to, but if we didn't have time, then how he said it was, we changed our processes to facilitate production. In other words, roller stamp.
Eastman claims some planes he was signing off on as safe weren't. He claims the company is jeopardizing safety for profits.
They just help shop get the product out as fast as they can. You know, damn the inspections. Inspections are not treated as requirements at Boeing. They're like they should be.
Because Boeing has a production certificate, its inspectors are delegates of the FAA, meaning Boeing's inspectors are the eyes that check for safety problems. He says he's witnessed evidence of quality assurance inspectors missing safety problems with airplane bolts.
This one thing I reported to the FAA was bolts. The bolts that hold the airplane together, you know, they weren't being checked. And most of them, I would say most of them are probably discrepant.
Eastman also says quality assurance inspectors have been told by management to ignore electrical wiring bundle problems on Boeing planes. According to Eastman, this is another potential federal violation.
But they're electrical bonds of such importance that if they don't work, you know, your safety isn't, you know, airplane safety is in question.
Eastman also says inspectors are supposed to use a flashlight and a mirror when checking planes, but he claims many inspectors only eyeball aircraft. Although he admits inspecting a plane this way is not a federal violation. He adds, though, drawings of Boeing planes used by inspectors are not being used often enough during safety inspections, which is a violation.
Drawings to make things that were critical, safety critical, as not critical, and eliminating inspections. Eastman
took his concerns to Boeing, but he didn't get the results he wanted.
They did what they call a corporate internal audit, and it was just a joke. They were looking at like settings of torque wrenches and stuff like that, stuff not related directly to the product.
Boeing had this to say about Eastman's allegations, quote, "Safety is a top priority. We encourage employees to come forward with concerns. Boeing and the FAA investigated and addressed those concerns expressed by Mr. Eastman." Eastman says he kept pushing for changes. He sent letters to Washington State Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, telling them about his safety concerns at Boeing. This letter indicates Senator Murray sent his concerns to an FAA congressional liaison. Eastman also filed 2 separate complaints with the Federal Aviation Administration in 2002 and 2003. But he says the FAA dismissed the problems he brought to its attention.
We found no safety-related items, which is, obviously bogus because you have unknown critical electrical bonds and stuff like that still flying around without being corrected.
Eastman believes Boeing put pressure on the FAA to look the other way.
I put enough information in my report where any objective FAA investigation, they would have pulled Boeing's production certificate.
According to the final report from the FAA, out of 382 allegations they investigated from Eastman, it did find some 15 systemic and 5 certificate problems at Boeing. Although the FAA says it didn't find safety issues or managerial corruption at Boeing. The FAA spokesman told me, quote, "We consider them to be procedural non-compliances. Boeing took corrective action after they were identified." Eastman says the one issue he truly wanted fixed was quality assurance inspectors signing off on planes that weren't deemed safe by federal guidelines. Eastman even admits he approved planes despite safety questions.
Tried to do my job, and every job I stamped off, I tried to, make sure that I inspected, but even me, I had to roller stamp. I had to take shortcuts.
Eastman says while he looked into safety problems at Boeing, the company watched what he was doing, and that Boeing was concerned about how Eastman gathered information.
Gerald Eastman gave me this Boeing letter that was sent to him. In it, it accuses him of accessing company-sensitive information.
Quote, "The documents you have accessed, acquired, copied, transferred include Boeing proprietary documents, Boeing limited documents, and competition-sensitive documents. Your copying and transferring of such documents are unrelated to and unnecessary to perform your job as a quality assurance inspector, Precision the Assembly." Boeing company spokesman John Dern told Q13 Fox News Eastman violated internal company policies. Quote, "Mr. Eastman was downloading a large number of documents which led to a company investigation. As a result of that investigation, he was terminated."
As soon as I got out of the building, and around the corner, they put handcuffs on me, and I was in the handcuffs, for 6 hours or so.
Seattle police arrested Eastman May 17th. Right now, he is under investigation for theft and computer trespass. You're looking at the search warrant used by police to enter Eastman's home and take his computer and personal files. Eastman says Boeing went after him because he's a whistleblower.
I've been always pretty much harassed and retaliated against because of my stubbornness, I guess you'd call it, in being an inspector.
According to Eastman, the FAA is supposed to perform an audit at Boeing every 2 years to find potential safety issues to be corrected. He doesn't put much weight into those inspections. He knows that people may view him as a disgruntled former employee of Boeing, but he says he felt compelled to come forward because of his safety concerns. Also, he feels that companies buying planes from Boeing should know the truth.
Any inspector or FAA inspector, per se, could go up to any Boeing airplane and find dozens of problems, and serious problems.
Eastman says he decided to go public with these allegations because he wants the FAA to pull Boeing's production certificate. He believes stopping production for a few weeks would give the company time to properly retrain safety inspectors. Eastman says after that, the FAA could supervise production. I tried talking with Eastman's union about his termination from Boeing, but they declined to comment. As far as his legal battle, the King County Prosecutor's Office has not formally charged Eastman with any crime as of yet. Reporting live tonight, Darren Zito, Q13, Fox News.
To be continued. Thank you very much, Darren.